We are literally living in a movie, and it is both incredibly exciting and can be very scary at the same time. So, when I say that we're living in a movie, I have always been really into fantasy. And not necessarily just, like dragons and knights and elves and all this stuff, but that stuff is cool. That stuff is great. I enjoy that as well. But just more or less like anything that seems to break or go against the perceived mundane reality that we live in. Once we find ourselves in a cycle of kind of doing the same thing day in and day out, and there's like no excitement and no fun, and depending on your situation, you may feel a bit bogged down or run down, like I have, and I've been really doing the work here to change my mind and my perspective and have a much more positive outlook on things. But I've always liked fantasy. The idea of, people flying, man, like people like literally just taking off in flight and just flying into the air. These were the type of fantasies that I would have as I was growing up as a kid, having superpowers and, just all these like really cool things that you see in these movies, like, like in Marvel movies, anything you can possibly think of. It could be in Marvel movies, superhero films. It could be, like a Lord of the Rings film, whatever it may be, but anything fantastical I was all about. So naturally, I tend to spend a lot of time within fantasy. I haven't had too much time here recently, just with raising a family and taking care of things. But I was really into like all the superhero films. Harry Potter is like one of my favorite series of all time. It's what got me interested in reading when I was younger, when it first came out, right? And when I say that we're living in a movie, I mean literally just that, because I've always have been like, man, like I want something spectacular to happen, right? And I would have scenarios like, man, like I wish somebody would just come out of nowhere and just say like, hey, we need you to be a secret spy, for something. Or, hey, you actually have this long lost lineage to this, this royal family. And you know what I mean? Like just these really crazy sounding scenarios that you would see like in a movie. Anything essentially to make life more exciting or more fun, or to break out of, again, what was my perceived mundane reality. So there's so much more going on in life than we really know and that we have been told, and one of the biggest things that I have been coming across is this whole thing when it comes to our subconscious minds. I truly believe that our subconscious minds have been hijacked for many different reasons, but hijacked in the sense that when you understand that the subconscious mind is what creates your reality and the way that you live, and essentially is responsible for your current state of being right now at this very moment, you can then start to kind of understand how and why the powers that be, whoever they may be, whether it's Satan, the devil, Illuminati, some shadow network, whatever it may be, if that is a fundamental truth, that your subconscious mind controls your reality, then the people who understand how that works, they would basically have the ability to hijack or infiltrate your subconscious mind to get you essentially to do what they want you to do. And what I mean by that is, if you essentially have a group, again, like a shadow group that essentially doesn't want us to know how powerful we truly are, especially when it comes to the power that God gave us, then I would essentially make sure that you are exposed to certain kinds or just enough trauma in general to where you never learn the truth. That basically, if I attach trauma to your subconscious mind, no matter how logical you want to be about life, you're never going to get ahead, because you're trying to tackle your logical mind. You're not tackling your subconscious mind. And that really opened my eyes to how a lot of this works, because I can typically be quoted about how often I will say like, well, I'm thinking logically about this and this doesn't make sense. And it doesn't make sense because our mind, of course, it's logical, but our subconscious runs heavily off of emotions, which can be illogical a lot of the times, right? When emotions run high, we can sometimes do illogical things. We can do silly things. So I'm trying to fix an emotional issue with logic, and it's not working. It's not working. So the traumas that I endured when I was younger, and I spoke about this in previous videos, growing up, in the hood, in negative environments around miserable people who basically just had this perspective that the world was out to get them and they had to basically do whatever they could to survive. That is a terrible place to be in. And I never fully succumbed to that mindset, but I was still heavily affected by it, by my family and friends also coming from that same environment, but not necessarily having the same mindset of wanting to break out of it, right? They just kind of, just went along with it. They just assimilated, essentially. So all the misery and negativity and feeling like, you can't get ahead in life and it's basically your subconscious mind reiterating and replaying these negative things for you 24/7. It basically causes you to literally manifest that and create that in your everyday life. It makes a lot of sense when you look at situations like the hood or impoverished areas. And it's like, how in the hell? And I remember asking so many times, how is it that this type of mindset, this hood mindset, this very downtrodden, negative and degenerate mindset is able to survive as long as how has it not either been bred out? How has enough time not passed for this to no longer be a prevalent thing? And it just kind of comes down to there's a constant there, and it's the mindsets. But it's why aren't we able to use common sense to kind of stop doing some of these stupid things and stop engaging in some of these things that we engage in? And you begin to realize that, well, it's by design. It has to be. Some genius mind or minds basically put it into motion to generationally enslave the minds of a lot of black people, and not just black people, but just it's bigger than just black people. But I'm black myself. I'm a black American. I'm black myself, so I tend to lean more towards that demographic. But I can see the characteristics in everyone that is affected by it. Essentially, it really is not about color. It is simply about those who are under the spell and those who are not. And that's really what it comes down to. If I poison your mind with negativity, impoverished mindsets of the world hates me, the world hates my skin, I can never get ahead in life, all I have to do is plant that seed and your mind will do the rest for me. It just reinforces that false reality every single day of your life. And the people that you come across are under the same exact spell. So you all are just a big hive mind of reinforcing negativity. And therefore it's like Groundhog Day. You're just living the same day over and over again. You feel like you can never get out of it. Anything that seems different or anyone that talks different, and I can attest to this myself, if you dare to challenge that way of life, they fight you on it. They fight you on it. It's so geniusly woven into communities and cultures that it's almost impossible to get people to see things differently. And it really is as simple as the world does not hate you. It just simply is reacting to what you're giving it. But if we never had a choice or a chance to tell or show the world what we wanted to give it, then that's why we're in the situation that we're in. The powers that be did it for us. They basically taught our minds how to give the universe, give the world negative things, knowing that if I project negativity into my own mind, into my own subconscious, and I have it woven into every fiber of my being, they know that the reality will shape to that. At the same time, if that's the case and that's true, then you can weave positivity and abundance and fearlessness and security and confidence into yourself. but there has to be something or someone there to help you do it. Like I said, I'm almost 40 years old. I'm 38 years old. And a lot of these things I have felt deep down in my soul that they are true. I just was never around a lot of like-minded people to kind of cultivate and pull these things out. So I'm right now having to have this really difficult battle of I'm not the happiest with my current situation, whether it's the financial struggle, the psychological struggle, the emotional struggle, the burden of basically trying to figure that stuff out while I'm trying to raise my kids with my wife and I'm trying to keep our marriage strong. I have to basically embody what I would feel like if I was not in that situation, if I had millions in my bank account, if I didn't worry about paying bills, if we weren't living the paycheck. I have to basically train my mind to live that way psychologically, even though physically I'm not there yet. And you have to be very careful with how you say that, because it's difficult when you get another collector calling you, when you get a bill in the mail, when you get a disconnection of service notice. All these things are just like reminders, and they just kind of pull at your subconscious saying, remember, things aren't great. You can't get out of this situation. Things are terrible. You're never going to get out of this. And it's not true. You have to ignore that as best you can and try to shift your mind away from that. Despite what reality is showing you, you have to basically believe within yourself that you already have in you what you need to change your life. And it is very, very difficult. But I'm doing the best I can every day. I even started journaling again and writing things down, affirmations, trying to repeat things to myself. I'm trying to get serious with meditation, clearing my mind, trying to acknowledge when these negative thoughts start to seep into my mind. And I have noticed that whenever something comes up, the first thing my mind likes to do, because it wants to protect me from perceived danger, is list out all the ways that something could go wrong. That's the first thing my mind does. And I have realized that. And now I'm getting better at realizing when it's happening and trying to do my best to kind of say, okay, knock it off. Yes, that could happen, but we're not focused on that right now. What is the good that can happen from this decision? Or what is the good that can happen as a result of me going to this place or this event? What's the good that can come from it, not the bad? Because if we keep focusing on the bad, it is going to manifest itself and it is going to happen. And that's exactly what has been happening to a lot of us for years, decades. Our minds, as a way to protect us, keep us away from things that we have been told to fear. But what if you have been told to fear things like abundance, like prosperity, like money, like this whole idea that if you're a millionaire or a billionaire, in some way, shape, or form, you're stealing or taking away money from those who are less fortunate. I personally have never felt that because someone is a billionaire, like a Elon Musk or a Jeff Bezos, that because they're billionaires, they're taking money away from me. I have never felt that way. I have never hated people because I felt that I wanted that. I want to be financially secure. I'm not even going to say I don't want a billion. I used to say I don't want a billion because I don't need it, but it's like, who cares? The sky's the limit. Give me a billion. Give me more. But I'm not an evil person and I'm not going to do evil things. I want to help the world with the money, right? I want to help the world. I want to help myself, help my family first. And then I want to help the world with that kind of money. So if I teach you to hate or to fear things that are prosperous or things that are abundant, why would you ever attempt to go for those things? You won't, because either you hate it or you're afraid of it. It's incredibly genius. And that's not a compliment, but it's genius how that works, how you can hijack somebody's subconscious without them even realizing it. And it literally affects every decision that they make in life, to where every decision they make in life ends up just kind of reflecting back to them and making them feel miserable and depressed, because it feels like every decision that I've made is completely wrong, or I can't make great decisions, or I can't have cool or great things, or I can't be financially secure, or I can't be great, insert whatever you can possibly think of. But as I just, continue to look more and more into this, man, it's just very, very eye-opening. And I'm here to finally just solidify my place in this universe as saying that whatever I want in life, I can have. Whatever I want from my family, we can have. We are financially secure. Situations, opportunities, money will come to us. It comes to us easily. We do not have to make life harder than what it is. There are things that we want. There are things that God wants us to have. It is ourselves that a lot of us are fighting. And once we figure that out, we can change so many things about this world. But those are my random thoughts about, the subconscious and kind of manifesting things for today. If you stayed, I hope you enjoyed, and I hope you stay for future videos. Go ahead and listen to my other previous videos as well. I call them audio journals, and I'm putting them out there in hopes that I'm not even in hopes, I will connect with other people who are on this journey as well. When they come across this video or other videos, it will resonate with them, and then we will just kind of see. We will see this through together, keep each other encouraged as we're going through this. We're not alone, and great things are ahead. There's a lot of great things that are coming to us all. I truly believe that. So guys, hope you leave a comment. I'd love to engage in conversation, and I hope you subscribe, and I'll talk to you all soon.